On our technique for a moment, let's take a look at section 1, example 1.1. This is one of my best exercises to get students ready to be able to build the muscle memory it takes to start a bend in the bend position. So we go from 6 draw to 6 bend, and then 6 bend to 6 draw. So thinking about my thumb here as being your tongue, you play 6 draw, and then you bring your tongue to the roof of the mouth in the position for that bend. Stop your air, keeping your tongue locked into place. Then start your air again. Hopefully that bend is there waiting for you, and then you release. So let's give that a try. Example 1.1, just the 6 draw for a moment. Again, A harmonica here. Six, 6 bend, bend, release. Let's try it again. 5 draw. 4 draw. 3 draw down to the whole step bend. 2 draw. And 1 draw. This is one of the best exercises to get you ready for being able just to start in that bend position. Take the next step on this exercise and do each last half twice. So for example, 6, 6 bend, 6 bend, release. Now we were just at that 6 bend. Can your muscle memory remember where it needs to be? 6 bend, release. So you do the last half twice. Let's try that on the 6 draw. 6 to 6 bend, holding your tongue in position, ready to start your air again to get the bend. 6 bend, release. Do you remember where your tongue needed to be for that bend? That's our idea. So let's try it again. 6 draw. And when I'm with my hand motion here, that's low pitch, that's high pitch. Let's try the whole exercise. Five. You can take that one more step further, say the 4 draw, 4 to 4 bend, bend, release, bend, release. Take the harp away, move your tongue around, drink some water. Think you can figure out where that 4 needs to be? Where does that tongue need to be for the bend? That's the muscle memory that we're talking about. Now, do we need to even really release? No, just 4 bend. There's your 4 bend. On a C harmonica, that's the note D flat. So we're building your skill set to be able to hit a note at any degree within the bend. In this case, we're at the very bottom of all these bends. In our next study for the song Half Step, and we're going to work on actually hitting all the individual half steps that say the 3 draw has to offer. So this is our first exercise, is a real powerful exercise. Example 1.2 starts in the bend and releases. So that's pretty much what we were just talking about. Remember, the 6 draw bend is going to be a smaller chamber, so make sure you're more frontal in your mouth, using more of that SH area of the bend. Here you go, 6 draw bend and release. 5 draw bend, release. 4 draw bend. 3. 2. And 1. So basically that's the last half of example 1.1. Now 1.3, this is a good challenge. Still in kind of the idea of building, it is in the idea of building muscle memory. But example 1.3, you hit 3 draw to 3 draw half step bend. Keep your tongue locked into place. Then go from 3 draw half step bend to 3 draw whole step bend. Keep your tongue locked in place. So the idea is getting used to going to a bend, being able to start in that position again, and then continue further. Let's try example 1.3. Here we go. Now that 3-draw half-step bend, rule of thumb for blues harmonica, we don't usually play a 3-draw on bent, especially in a bluesy blues. When you listen to the track for My Blues, man, that's bluesy blues. That's a real gut-wrenching slow blues. You don't play the 3-draw natural. 3-draw needs to be bent down at least a quarter tone, which is a step between the white keys and black keys on the piano. And then if it's really bluesy blues, right at the half step. So that's what we have notation-wise for our first measure in example 1.3. So what I'm doing here is to help develop the muscle memory for the third chorus of My Blues. And the whole idea that for each one of these study songs, which you've probably already figured out, now you've been working with me for a while, is each chorus of the study song brings in some new challenges. In this case, specific bending challenges, always rhythmic challenges, which either means different combinations of rhythms or faster rhythms. And just keep on stacking different techniques, because that's really what the focus of blues harmonica is develop your musicality along with all the different ways to present those notes on the harmonica. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do all of 1.4, or 1.3. Keep your tongue locked in place. Here we go. 2-draw now. Keep your tongue locked in place. Now we're going backwards. Match my pitch for the 3-draw whole step bend. Again. This is a toughie. Okay, let's continue on. 3-draw whole step bend to 3-draw half step bend. Yeah, that's a good exercise right there. Example 1.4 does the same thing with a dip. If we take a look at, go ahead and look at your printout of My Blues, bottom left-hand corner, all the way at the bottom left-hand corner. Let's analyze what we see here. It's a 3-draw half-step bend, so I see 3 with 1 slash. Look at the music notation, we see the note B with a flat. That's B flat. So anytime you see a flat symbol in front of a note, that little B symbol, that means that note's to be lowered. Then above it you see a dip sign. So it's telling you, all right, if I'm at a 3-draw half-step bend, I also want to dip it. Well, isn't a dip a bend and a release? Well, we're not going to let that note release all the way. We're going to basically start around the 3-draw whole step bend pitch, around there, and slide into the half step. So it's a dip going from underneath, sliding into the half step bend. So what we get, here's our 3-draw half step bend. Let's start with the 3-draw to half step to find it. I just hit it. I'll go below it. So that's a dip into a half step bend. Hear how bluesy that sounds? 3-draw half step bend, dip into 3-draw half step bend. Don't let it go too high, because it won't sound bluesy. If I go too high, it's not bluesy. It's pretty. That's okay sometimes, but not when we're trying to play a bluesy blues. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So that's what we're working on for example 1.4. Here we go. So we're dipping into a 3-draw, which is around a quarter tone or half step bend to the regular natural 3-draw, and then slide it down to the half step. Here we go. It's pretty tricky in those last couple measures. Before I forget to say anything, we're doing this on the A harmonica, but a good idea now that you're developing your bending skills is to take these bending songs and work the different keys of harmonicas. Try these same exercises on your B flat, your C, your D. Go as low as your G harmonica. Our lowest range common harmonica is G, goes up to A, then B flat, then C, and then D, and then F. Now, part of the set that I recommend everyone have for bluesharmonica.com is also a low F. A lot of times we'll choose a low F over a regular F because it's so high-pitched. So it's a good idea to work that range, because if you spend months on this song and then you go to play your D harmonica, you're most likely you're going to be over bending, going too far in the mouth, and you're not going to be able to bend on your D harmonica. So make sure that you make a regular practice to try these in different keys. If you have music software such as the amazing Slowdowner, you can change the key of these songs I provide. You just put that file in the window of the Amazing Slowdowner, and then you can bring it down a half step. That way you can play with your next key harmonica. So instead of A, it'd be an A flat harmonica. Bring it down another half step, now it'd be on your G harmonica. So that way you can play along with it and listen to the pitches. If you go too far, too many keys, it starts to get a little garbly-gook, but it's still a good practice. Just trying to keep it as real world as possible. And you notice that from each song we're changing harmonicas, and I'm trying to do that with you. We start feeling for the blues on the A harmonica, because it's the most common. Then we go to the D harmonica for the strut, and back to the A harmonica for the slow blues, my blues. Then we go to the B flat harmonica for half stepping, so we're moving around quite a bit. Let's take a look at example 1.5. So 1.5, we start with the 3 draw, we dip the 3 draw, and move into a shake. Again. Now in these exercises, I'm very specific in what exercises I give you, because I know where you've been and where you're going. And I like to write exercises that also you cannot do unless you have the elements I ask for you. For example, remember I talked about before, try not to get all these auxiliary muscles involved in the bending process. You're now getting to the point where you can start to relax a little bit and say, all right, I understand that the tongue needs to move to the proper place in my mouth to tune my mouth to the pitch that I desire to get on the harmonica. Basically, it just means I need to move my tongue, not stiff and a lot of muscle, but just move the tongue into the proper place in the mouth to tune my mouth for the bend. So it's time to start reminding yourself as you play. If you start to hunker down when you're going into the bend, light bulbs should go off. Say, oh, I don't need to use pressure and muscle. I just need to move that tongue to the right spot. A lot of times it just means humping it up and a little bit further back in the mouth. So when you're doing this shake, if you tense up your neck muscles and everything, your shake starts to suffer because of it. So the goal here is to keep everything relaxed so that you can continue the shake, but you're able to do the bend. Really good exercise. So it's a cool sounding lick, and it's also a great exercise. Here's what it sounds like. Notice how my shake stayed the same all the way through. 4 draw dip shake. Alright, so that concludes our exercises to get ready for my blues. Again, experiment with different keys of harmonica. And, there's usually a good couple months of exercises right there. As you continue to work through my blues, the application of these great bends that you're learning, keep working on these techniques. It'll help.